Committee, I'll call this meeting to order. I'm Councilmember Weezer. I've been joined by Councilmember Harris, Dawson, Cedillo, and Price. We will first go through the multiple agenda item comment cards. This is an opportunity for individuals who have more than one item to speak on to speak at this time. And we just got one in. Two. Armando Herman. Armando Herman, you are up, sir. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah, when it comes to Rule 23 and how Plum takes its action of discretion upon the points of the public, you know, after all, it's the public that have a right to protest on multiple items.
Yeah.
I have multiple items, sir. So you don't even know what item I'm on yet. See?
Okay.
That's the secret about multiple items. You can speak on every item at the same time, which I'm doing. So now going back to my point after you interrupted me, sir, is that you see most of us here are in opposition of all these items because one, there's not enough time to be heard under 60 seconds. Two, that there's the transparency of having a public agenda open for us in the back of the room. There are none. And for the record, I submitted a card on item 6, item 1, item 2, and public comment, right? So now I'm going to my general public comment.
No, sir, I haven't called public comment yet.
Okay, so then I'm still on subject. So as you see, folks, when you're protesting against height, the discretion of what you can and cannot and should do and should not, it all comes back to this committee. It's a responsibility of this committee to allow you to protest and appeal as the applicant if you're not getting what you desired under the process of a permit. And all these items are under a permit. So as long as the dysfunctional chair allows this committee, with the missing person for the record, Michelle Englander, not to be present,
Mr. Herman, thank you very much. But
how are we to reflect
Sir, I'm asking you, it doesn't matter. Sir, I am asking you to please listen at this time. That is your first warning. You know the rules. You are here at every meeting. If you disrupt this meeting again, we will ask you to leave. I asked you earlier when I tried to tell you that that was a multiple agenda item. You have one more card for public comment. You know how the system works. You'll be up for public comment later. Thank you. And you have that, sir. That's your second warning. Sergeant at Arms, please ask this individual to leave the meeting before he continues to disrupt this meeting. Thank you. Wayne, multiple items. Wayne.
God, man. See? Now he's going to go over and serve the lawsuit.
So, yes, good. Hello, you bald-headed fat fuck. Now, for the record, these items are being held by only 4 commissioners or committee members.
Sir, this is the multiple item agenda. Please speak on items for which you have signed up for on the agenda.
Okay. Yeah, I know you're from Zacatecas, so I speak in Spanish.
Sir, this has nothing to do with any item on the agenda. I'm going to ask you to please stop speaking now and wait. If you want to comment on things like that, you have a public comment period, which is at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Thank you very much. Your time is up. Thank you, sir. Your time is up.
No, vote for Cedillo. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Now we got that out of the way. Item number 2, we will put on consent. Oh, I'm sorry. We do have cards for that, so we'll hold that. Item 3, we'll hold. 4, there are no public comment cards. As we approve on consent, I want to mention for the record that we are including the revised plans transmitted by planning on April 20th, 2017 on that item. Item number 4. No objection, so ordered. Item number 4. So item number 6, we will continue to 5/16/17. And item number 7, we will continue to 5/16/17. So we could start with item number 1, report from Director of Planning, Mr. Bertoni. Welcome.
Thank you, Chair Weezer and members of the Planning and Land Use Management Committee. Vince Bertoni, Director of Planning. 2 items. First off is are at our regular meeting of the City Planning Commission next week. They'll be hearing the items regarding the George Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts, which is proposed for a portion of the Exposition Park, and that, as you know, is you are all familiar with. It's a tremendous gift to the city. George Lucas and his wife Melody Hobson are the ones who are donating the money and supporting the museum. That will be coming for certain entitlements before the City Planning Commission next week. We're anticipating that to go to this committee and to the full council in June, so you'll be hearing and seeing that a little bit later. My only other item is that yesterday we opened up our a new planning department office in West Los Angeles. So we believe this is the first time we've been able to expand our services to a different geographic area of the city since the 1980s. And we're excited about that because what it's doing is going to be an expansion of our Development Services Center. So many of the services that are offered in both the Metro counter at Figueroa Plaza or also in the Valley and Van Nuys will be offered in West LA at the office over on Sawtelle. We started with more limited services May 1st, and we'll be expanding those to a more fuller range of services on June 1st. And we think that's not only going to help our customers and who live or work in the west side of Los Angeles, but also parts of this. It'll also help us with our San Fernando Valley office because many people from the west side of Los Angeles will go to the Valley office because it's just easier to get to. So we're hoping that's going to help not just on the west side, but also in the Valley. With that concludes my report, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that presentation. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, we will receive and file item number 1. So on item number 2, that was on consent to approve. Unless there are any people here in opposition, we will waive anybody who submitted a card if you want to waive those. Nobody here in opposition, right? So item 2, we will approve on consent, and the people who signed up to speak will waive your public comment. Is that correct? Anybody? All right. So item number 2, approve without objection. Item number 3, same thing. Anybody here to object to this item? It was on consent calendar. Otherwise, we will approve it, and anybody who submitted a public comment card will waive their right to speak. Okay. Item number 3, we will approve on consent with no objections. That leaves us with item 5. You could call that into the record, please, Mr. Mejia.
Sure. Item 5, Councilman, this is a report from the South LA APC. It's a draft ordinance relative to a vesting zone change. It's for the demo of an auto fueling station and the construction of a new building in Council District 8.
Okay. Is staff here on this item? You want to please provide the committee and the public with a brief overview of the project?
Thank you. Alan Como with the Planning Department. So this is a vesting zone change from C1-1VL-HPOZ to TQ-C2-1VL-HPOZ. The Area Planning Commission in this meeting on December 6th recommended approval. The Area Planning Commission also at that time granted the conditional use approval to allow deviations from the commercial corner regulations and denied the continued use of an existing 30-foot high pole sign, and also approved the certificate of compatibility for the demolition and replacement of a non-contributing structure in the HPOZ. So before you is the vesting zone change. The Area Planning Commission was the final decision maker on the other action items.
Great, thank you. Mr. Hurst-Dawson, we have other public comment cards and presentation from the applicant. Do you wish to go to that now, or do you have some comments on this? Okay. We have the applicant's rep, Michael Pauls. 5 minutes, sir.
Good afternoon. Honorable Chairman Weezar, City Council members, my name is Michael Pauls. I am the applicant's representative this afternoon. Let me begin my presentation by providing you a brief overview, historical overview of the property. The property was originally constructed as a gasoline service station in 1937, making it one of the older gasoline service station sites in the city of Los Angeles. The site ceased to operate as a gasoline service station approximately 9 years ago and has since become an eyesore and a blight in the community and a crime magnet in the immediate neighborhood. Today, we have the opportunity to rid this neighborhood of this crime-infested property, and in doing so, create over 20 local jobs in the community. On December 6, 2016, the South Los Angeles Area Planning Commission unanimously approved a conditional use permit and zone change to reestablish a gasoline service station and food store at the site. There were no appeals of the Area Planning Commission decision. Over the past year, we've had numerous opportunities to conduct outreach for the community. We have had over 60 meetings, and that's a conservative number, over 60 meetings with community groups, residents, stakeholders, and City of Los Angeles officials since this process began. We have received unanimous support of our immediate neighbors surrounding our project site. We have met with the Adams Normandy Neighborhood Association, in whose area this property is located and which represents over 400 residents surrounding our site, with their unanimous support. We have met with the Van Buren Block Club, one of the original stakeholders in this community, with their unanimous support. We've met with the West Adams Neighborhood Association on several occasions. We've met with the Budlong, Juliet, and Catalina Block Club. We've had the opportunity to meet with and present to the North Area Neighborhood Development Council, both the Planning Committee as well as the full board. We've had 7 meetings, individual meetings, with the Adams Normandy HPOZ board for our Art Deco designed 7-Eleven gas station before receiving their approval. We have reached out and had meetings with the Los Angeles Police Department. A senior lead officer, Mr. Louis Aceves, had supported our project before the South Los Angeles Area Planning Commission. And today, we present to you 292 signatures of individuals surrounding this project site in support of the project. Our request, which is before you today, encompasses a zone change from the C1 zoning designation to the C2. The current zoning classification for the property is inconsistent and incompatible with the present general plan land use designation, which is commercial general. The request for a zone change to the C2 zoning classification will make the property consistent with the current general plan and is consistent with good planning practice. We would also like to state for the record that we are in agreement with the T and Q conditions as written, and we respectfully request your consideration in approving this zone change today. If I may, I would like to request the remainder of my time to read a letter into the record from our neighboring property owner who's unable to be here today.
1 minute left, sir.
Okay. My name is John Lee. I am the owner of the Adams Residential Care Facility at 1665 West Adams Boulevard. I am writing today for my strong support for this project. My family has been a neighbor to this property for over 40 years and witnessed the former gasoline service station deteriorate into the eyesore it has become. The property is not maintained and has developed into a crime magnet for the entire neighborhood, and as the immediate neighbor, has affected my property most of all. I've had the opportunity to meet with the proposed new property owner, business owner, and came away from the meeting looking forward to the newly improved and renovated corner development, and most importantly, having a good and responsible business owner as a neighbor. On behalf of the Adams Residential Care Facility and our tenants, I respectfully request your support for the proposed gasoline service station, 7-Eleven Market. Thank you very much, Mr. John Lee.
Thank you. Leslie Evans, Fiona Cook, Audrey Arlington. All other comments are 1 minute.
Okay, I'm Leslie Evans. I'm president of the Van Buren Block Club, which goes back to 1980. We face the gas station immediately south of Adams Boulevard. We are unanimous in wanting this to go through. This has been a real problem for us to have this abandoned property for 10 years. It's a very high crime area. Not only do we need something open there, but there's a serious risk for pedestrians. There are 2 bus stops at that corner, one going north and one going west. At night, there are street robberies, people are assaulted. There have been 5 rapes within a few blocks of that area. To have something lit and bright and open at night where somebody could at least retreat into the building of the 7-Eleven is a major issue. I also represent the Community Police Board for Southwest LAPD. Police are very concerned about the crime and that this contributes to it, and that having a place there that's open with security cameras would be a major improvement. And we've been very strong on that in the police area.
Great. Thank you.
Chair Weezer, members of the committee, my name is Audrey Arlington. I'm an area resident and homeowner. I speak today to urge you to support this proposal for all of the reasons you just heard. In addition, strong support for the 24-hour operation, because a gas station in this area absolutely cannot operate unless it's on a 24-hour basis. There's no way to secure the property otherwise. And speaking to the issue of development of this 9-year urban blight situation, imagine, if you will, standing late at night at the bus stop alone. How nice it would be to have a friendly, welcoming presence where you could go and get a snack, where you could go and feel safe just by the fact that there's activity in the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Fiona Cook.
Hi, I'm Fiona Cook. I'm a member of the Block Club. I live on Van Buren Place. I just want to say that I feed some stray dogs in that area, and every night I walk past that particular gas station and you get accosted with people wanting to sell you drugs. And my husband always comes with me because it's really scary to do that on your own. And also, I have friends who have really been responsible for a lot of the development in Jefferson Park, and we showed them the building that's directly opposite the gas station that they would thought they'd be interested in buying. And they said, with that gas station there, in that condition, we would not think of investing, and they would love to invest in West Adams. So I'm just saying that that gas station really should go ahead and should be 24/7. Thank you.
Thank you. Alicia Lay.
Honorable Chairman and members of the City Council, my name is Alicia Lay, and I've been asked by Mr. Marco Flores, who is the president of Adams Normandy Neighborhood Association and teacher in the community, to read a letter of support. He apologizes for not being here. To whom it may concern, I'm writing on behalf of the Adams Normandy Neighborhood Association, also known as ANNA, in support of the construction of the proposed 7-Eleven and gas station on the corner of Adams Boulevard and Normandy Avenue. The Minimart gas station lies entirely in the boundary of ANNA. The plans, as presented by a representative of the 7-Eleven Corporation during the ANNA meeting of April 5, 2016, demonstrated that the proposed construction would be an attractive alternative to the trash and graffiti-filled eyesore that now occupies the site. Employment and community involvement provisions outlined by the corporation would benefit our neighborhood. The members, ANNA, are committed to work with the developers to address any and all issues that might arise during the construction and operation of the 7-Eleven gas station. Thank you very much. Signed by Marco Flores, President of Adams Normandy Neighborhood Association. Thank you.
Thank you. And I can't make out the writing here, but I think it's Stella or Stea Schleider. Oh, yes.
How much time do I have?
1 minute, sir.
Okay. I'm here representing the West Adams Neighborhood Association, and we are adjacent to the property. We're about 350 homes, and we are opposed to the project. We are opposed to it because we feel like it's a step backward. The reason the zoning is as it is right now is because that we have too many automotive uses in the area, and we're trying to improve the quality of our neighborhood. If we approve this, we're basically stepping back. And also there's a procedural error on the item today. It states that Mr. Ahn is the owner of the property and he's the applicant. Mr. Ahn can't be the applicant because Mr. Ahn no longer owns the property. It has already been transferred to somebody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Harris-Dawson?
Thank you. I just a quick question for staff on the last point about the ownership. Are we in the clear on that, or is that an issue that may come up later?
Sorry about that. Councilmember Harris-Dawson, Alan Como again with the Planning Department. According to Mr. Pauls, the property did transfer ownership. We were not updated at that. The application at the time that it was filed and at the time that the Area Planning Commission approved it, the ownership, I believe, was still under Mr. Ahn's ownership at that time. So we have not been updated since then if there was a transfer of ownership.
So I guess this is a city attorney question. Is that a material matter?
Terry Kaufman, Macias, City Attorney's Office. Well, I think that with the first of all, I guess that has to be verified. But also, I think the applications require the owner to acknowledge that they're okay with the application. So, I don't know if you've what you have. It looks like they're still trying to sort it out. So their applications state on them that the owner is agreeable to that application if they're not the operator.
Thank you. Well, yeah, Mr. Chair, I think on the we'd like to get this sorted out if we can. I think on the meat of the matter, we're in agreement with the staff report that the change that's being requested is consistent with the new community plan in the area. We appreciate the vigorous community discussion that we've had about this. Mr. Evans, Mr. Arlington, and Cook, and Lee, and Flores, and certainly Mr. Steyer. We've spent a lot of time on this issue. This is a neighborhood that's in a bit of a transition and has got a lot of people that care a lot about what happens to it in it and are willing to show up to meeting after meeting over what happens on this corner. And so we want to move ahead with this matter today and engage everybody in the process of making sure that we have a good operation, we have a quality operation, and one that builds the quality of life going forward. So I'd ask for your support pending resolution of this material issue.
And I think that probably can be done before it goes to full council.
Okay. So at the request of Councilmember Harris-Dawson, we will approve this item and forward it to full council. In the interim, we are directing staff to please have that issue clarified for us before we raise it, before we vote on it in the council. And is there a time scheduled for council? When is it?
This is scheduled for May 10th.
May 10th, okay. So we'll have that issue clarified and obviously alert Council District 8 and Councilmember Harris-Dawson's office so that he could make that determination. Okay. So we'll move this item and with that direction to planning staff to clarify that issue and move it on to council. Any objections? Seeing no objections, so ordered. Thank you. All right. I believe that leaves us with public comment. We have Wayne. Wayne from Encino, not here. And for the record, we also have a card from Herman, but he has been removed from this meeting. Any other items today?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. That adjourns this meeting.